The Cleveland Cavaliers had come into the season with sky-high expectations, many picking them to represent the Eastern Conference in the NBA Finals come June. But they got off to a rocky start. They were pretty much a 500 caliber team to open up the year, but as of recent, they have been playing better basketball. They're 8-2 in their last 10 games. They've improved to ninth in net rating, 8th in offensive rating, and 12th in defensive rating on the season. And they've just been playing overall better basketball despite missing some guys. One of those guys being Darius Garland, who's been out for almost a month now to this point. And it led to the events that occurred during the trade deadline, which is mainly what we're going to talk about in this video, because the Cleveland Cavaliers, I believe, in the short term, came out as winners in the deadline. The first move was moving off of DeAndre Hunter, who had been pretty disappointing, and getting Dennis Schroeder and Keon Ellis from the Sacramento Kings. And in my opinion, I like that move. I like it because, yeah, you're losing a big wing, but it's not like DeAndre Hunter was this 3-and-D guy. I mean, I know his reputation says that, but if you look at the analytics and you look at the eye test, he hasn't really been that. So you kind of you get rid of him. You bring in Keon Ellis, who is a 3-and-D wing, had a really good season last year. Didn't really get a fair shake with when Mike Brown was the coach, at least for the Sacramento Kings. He didn't really get a fair shake, and you could still say the same as of right now. I don't think he really got the time that he deserved with Sacramento. And now he's going to go to Cleveland, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be big time for him because they could use a guy like him despite him not having the size that Hunter has. I think he's just a better overall player for that team and what they need. As for Dennis Schroeder, obviously this correlates with the Lonzo Ball thing perfectly because Lonzo Ball was like the big move for them in the offseason. They brought in Lonzo, traded with Chicago to bring him in, and everybody was like, yo, Lonzo Ball. He's going to be big for this Cavs team. He's going to push the pace. He's going to be a really good guard to have alongside those guys in, certain minutes. And he wasn't. He wasn't. He was terrible. It got so bad to the point he fell out the rotation. And now he's not on the team. Dennis Schroeder obviously got experience. He's played in big games. He can get buckets. We all know what he can do. He'll help this team out big time as well. And it's just huge for their depth to bring these guys in because they could use it. They definitely can. And as for the bigger move was obviously trading Darius Garland to the LA Clippers to bring in James Harden to join Donovan Mitchell in the backcourt in Cleveland. And it was a bit of an interesting move considering that Garland is younger and he's been an all-star in his career, but I guess the injuries have really been a concern with him because he can't stay on the floor and he continues to get hurt year after year, having these weird injuries, these lingering injuries, and I guess it made him expendable. And Cleveland was like, you know what? The window's now. We don't got time to wait. We want to win right now. We feel like we can win right now. Let's make this move. As for James Harden, I think James Harden, on the other hand, should be fun to watch playing with bigs like Mobley and Allen in the pick and roll. Plus, he's just been more durable than Garland in recent years, and that's always nice to have that insurance. He's going to bring some more size in the backcourt, even though he's not a great defender either, but he's going to bring some more size in the backcourt. I think he's more trustworthy than Garland, and I know Harden has this reputation of being like a playoff dropper, but let's not act like Darius Garland has had some good playoff runs. I mean, he's been either hurt or pretty bad whenever he's on the floor for Cleveland in their playoff runs in the Garland-Mitchell era, so it's not like you're losing much, to be honest, and I think you're upgrading at least in the short term because who knows, maybe Garland puts it all together in LA and things work out for him in his future and he just blossoms, right? Who knows? But James Harden is going to help this team in a lot of different ways that maybe Darius Garland couldn't have done. And I just like the move. Now, I assume, obviously, from a Harden and Donovan Mitchell dynamic, there is not going to be no, cohesion or anything like that. It's going to be basically splitting usage because they're both guys that thrive with the ball in their hands. Donovan Mitchell, I think, is a little better playing off the ball than James Harden is, but they both thrive with the ball in their hand, right? Obviously. They're dynamic scorers, in Harden's case, playmakers. And, I think on the defensive end, it's not like they lost anything crazy because even with Harden being the defender that he is, you still got those guys in the back end. You still got solid defenders around the core group of guys, so I don't think it's that big of a deal. I don't really see it. I think the concern is obviously the long term. What happens with Darius Garland, what happens with James Harden, how many years do you have James Harden playing like this? You have to worry about injuries with Harden because he's getting older and you never know what can happen. But overall, if we're talking purely basketball, I mean, I like the makeup of this Cavs team. They just need to once again prove that they can get it done when it matters because last season they were the number one team in the Eastern Conference and they folded. I mean, obviously they had some injuries, but they pretty much folded versus Indiana. Obviously, the years before that, you played Orlando in 2024, you won. And you played Boston, it was like kind of competitive, but you lost. Year before that, you lose to the Knicks in the first round in a series where you have home court advantage. There hasn't really been much. So taking a swing like this when the Eastern Conference is open and anything can happen, I like it. I like the move for sure. And I think things are starting to shake out the way the preseason expectations were, with Cleveland starting to creep up to being at the top of the Eastern Conference with the likes of New York, Detroit, and I know Boston was a little shaky. We didn't think Boston would be this good, but Boston is back, at least standings wise. They're one of the top teams in the East. Who knows what happens with them as a contender, whether or not they're a real legitimate title team or not, but they're up there with the rest of these guys, right? So I think Cleveland's starting to get themselves back in that picture. They're starting to figure things out. They play the Sacramento Kings tonight. So yeah, just mark that as another W. But yeah, definitely should be interesting. And I can't wait to see it. I think Cleveland's going to have a really good season. I think they're going to get going. And let's see if this is the core group that's going to get it done for the Cavs and push them into the Eastern Conference Finals / NBA Finals come May and June. Anyways, that's going to do it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. This has been the checkup, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.